Well, looks like we're live. Fisher and Fever is supposed to be plugging in. That was the plan. What's going to happen is beyond me, but I guess we'll see. Now, why is the chat taking up only half the screen? Oh dear. Let's see. Let me figure this out. That might do it. That does it. Okay, good. Precious, hello. Jovi, Caleb, Maria, Aquaballs, Sister Luckmo, Danican. Welcome all. Put my feet in your tank and a 12 grow light. What? I put feet in my tank and a 12-watt grow light, and that took my nitrates down to zero. Well, I guess I'll have to try that. I've had my feet in a lot of tanks, but I never noticed it reduced my nitrates. Sister Luckmo, we need a little more information, or maybe that's too much. Hi, Sand Creek. Anakin, that's funny. What is this? Okay. Well, what we're supposed to be doing today, I don't know whether we got our wires crossed or not with Fisher and Fever. I talked to him about 15 minutes ago, and we were still unclear as to who was going to go first. So I finally just arbitrarily decided I was going to go first. So here I am. Oh, look what I got here. I got another one. I have do stickers. Makes me look like I'm Chinese with the tiny slit eyes. As my eyes get older, they get droopier. Isn't that cool? I think it's kind of nice though. So everybody who sent me a Christmas card is going to be getting a sticker. And if you leave your address somewhere, you can leave it on my homepage under discussion or conversation or whatever that is. I'll be happy to send you a sticker. Thank you so much, Maria. That'll be fun. I got 500 to give out. So let's see. Fisher and Fever, hi. Um, let's see. I think I posted. Let me just do it again. I think I posted the link, and I'm going to do it again. There. I will do it. I'll get them out. Just leave your address somewhere, and I can send them out. Dooby doo. Um, Fish room fever. What do you want to do? Do you want to do? Do you want to do 2 o'clock? You want to start the dirted tank at 2? Is that what you have in mind? Because I'm happy to do that. Whatever you like. Mr. Fish, sir. Well, that's cute. Mr. Fish, sir. Mr. Fish, sir. I like it. I like it. Do we do? Danican. Danican, do you want to be a monitor? I need a few more monitors. I'm going to make you a monitor. You can always tell me to. I use or put use. What's this? It won't let me. There it is. It was Aquaballs. Well, Danny can right there. Keep jumping it there and moderator. Dooby doo. Etiquette is now a moderator. Congratulations, you're a member of the club. Thank you, Maria. Maria wants to be a moderator. I can tell. Then again, Maria, we're gonna have everybody. Everybody's gonna be a moderator for a long. We'll all moderate each other. Jen Selling Olsen, hello Denmark. Harslunde School. Be glad to. Thank you, Denikin. Precious says I'm adorable. I think Precious must be adorable. That's where all this is really coming from. Else, how would she know? How would she know? Well, if she's not, then it's not a compliment. So she must be. I trust you, Precious. I do. Everything fish. Oh, true, true. Fish Pond UK. I've been watching a fish pond channel that's just kind of blows my socks off. Doobie doo, Big J, hi Big J. Who else is here? Who else is here? I got everybody. Um, let me look at this a minute. I think, well, fiddlesticks. Get the channel up. If you will, under discussion, there it is. On my home page, if you leave your address under discussion, I'll be happy to send you a a sticker or two. If you don't want to do it publicly, then send me an email um, to fatherfish@fatherfish.net. Fatherfish@fatherfish.net, and I'll get it. Thank you, Sister Lockmo. 14 washing, 9 lights. Big J. Everything fish. Kaylor. Hi, Kaylor. Chewy. Good morning, Chewy. How are you? Fatherfish, fatherfish.net. Correct. There it is. Chewy got it right. Fatherfish@fatherfish.net. Thank you. Very good. A lovebird or a cockatoo. Maria, were you asking me? Somebody asked me yesterday to do something on the parrots, on the birds. And I need to do that. That's a good idea. In fact, I might very well be able. We're back. Picked up my phone and the screen went dead. All right, I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna try to do this. Let's see. Need to find there. If I can find the post, the link. Doobie doo. We'll go look at some birds. Well, may as well just do it again because I'm not getting it. Let's just do it again. Well, what happened? Did we do copy? It's 32 degrees here this morning. That's not at all nice for Florida. So I was over in my fish room at about 6 o'clock, making sure that nobody was freezing. And nobody was freezing, so it worked out okay. Now, there are a couple of things I can do here that'll be fun. What in the world is this? What is this? Okay. Lovebird or a cockatoo? What are we doing? Oh dear. Yeah, it could affect. It's supposed the 2 nights in a row. I don't know. They usually can save it. Send you my address on Facebook Messenger. Aquawells. That works just fine. I can do that. To either Father Fish or Lou Fox. Well, the easiest is Father Fish. Okay, I think I'm back facing share. Ta-da. All right. Now, before we do this, I want to show you something that I've been doing for the last few days that you're going to love. Somebody just walked in. Hi there. Ugh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh,
Hi there. How are
Hi.
you?
oh, I,
This is a little baby parrotlet. And there she is. We have two. And we are hand feeding them.
Oh.
And I just noticed that they're pooping very messily. So I think I need to change my
oh,
food. Yeah, it looks all right. Let's try it and see if I can do this. Let's see if I can get you turned around so we can see what's happening. This is tricky at best. They are not starving is the problem. They're not they're not hungry to the point of squawking for food. There we go. More or less. Anyway, so there's the, come on. Can't find the camera. There it is. So we have two of these little guys. They're parrotlets. They're the tiniest parrot. He's probably close to adult size. He hasn't fledged out yet, but it'll only be a matter of days. Look at him looking around. See his green feathers? It's going to be green. How about that? Yes. All right. So let's go look. Wow. Let's go look at some other birds. I'll show you all the birds. And I'll keep my volume up here so you can hear me. We have a little Quaker parrot here who's hand fed. She's very gentle, doesn't bite at all, but she's shallow and stage. Oh dear. All right, sorry. There. I never did figure out how to get this on one screen. We do. But I can at least do it like this. All right, so we were looking at this is a little Quaker. She's very shy, but a very gentle bird. She doesn't bite at all. She just won't let anybody get near her. She runs away. So she needs somebody to spend a lot of time loving her, and then she will become a really wonderful pet. So there's the little green Quaker. Over here, we have a bare-eye cockatoo. She doesn't like me at all. She loves everybody else. So she comes out, she plays, she kisses, and she just has such a good time with everybody but me. She don't like me worth a nickel. Do you? That's her. Okay. Enough with you. Let's look at some other birds. You saw the babies. And these are the parents. In here, I have three little parrotlets right there that I just figured out how to do. We did something. Where are they? I don't know what I did. It's too dark in here. Can't see anything. There they are back there. Right there. Three little parrotlets. The pair together in the far corner are the parents, and the little one in front is one of their babies. And then we have their massive atrium. The atrium is It's like 15 by 12, 180, almost 200 square feet. It has parakeets. Look way up there in the corner are cinnamon, the focus, cinnamon finches. They don't want to be seen. Some doves. The doves are nesting up there in the top of the trunk. On the floor, we have a little button quail. Here's a few more parakeets. We got about a dozen parakeets, and they're all nesting. We've got 3 nest boxes in here, and they're fighting over all 3 of them. These are quail, button quail, and I can get around here and look at them. 2 little, what are they called? Fuzzy chickens. What's a fuzzy chicken called? I can't think. 2 babies. And we various times have lovebirds in here, and some other kinds of birds. Cockatiels. We've had both spawn. There's one lone cockatiel up there, all by himself. Right now, we've got mostly a few finches and a lot of parakeets, and of course all the ground birds. There's some of the finches over there, and more up in the corner. So that's the bird collection, such as it is. Let's see, there's one more little beast you probably ought to see while we're on the subject of oddballs. Let's do one more look here. This is the 55, the notorious 55-gallon soda tank's been set up now for about 10 weeks. And it's looking pretty good. It's on low light, but the light stays on pretty much 24/7. And here is our newest addition. Somebody brought in a little ball python that's in real nice shape. We just need to find him a new home. And then we have over here a couple of redfoot tortoises. Let's see if we can spot them. There they are. 1, 2 redfoot tortoises. They're about full grown. And lastly, a couple of house cats. These are breeding in here. I don't know how many, half a dozen, I think. And somewhere in here. Oops, there we go. Come on. And you, and you tough. Look at him. Look at him go. Look at him go. You're right. So those are the critters. Now you've seen all the critters. Bye-bye. The bird just said goodbye. Had a couple of people. Yeah, let me get rid of this. Okay. Well, there. Let me back up a little bit. Oh, dude. Back to Mad Guy, fishing more. Hey, Bob. Danican, Aquaball, Sand Creek. Let's see. Taylor, Precious, can't have birds. Think my deal with my cat is only hands off the fish. She likes birds a bit too much. Know what you mean. We have Tom here, but he kind of ignores anything anymore. He's just too old to be bothered, I guess. Caleb is looking at the little bird. Let's see. Dan's fish stream tonight doing a giveaway. Dan just hit 1,000. What, a week ago? Congratulations, Dan. Yeah, I love cockatiels. Nice bird. Here we do. Aquaball's not any birds anymore. Down the wormhole, my birds scream at Father Fish streams. Can't watch them in the living room. Yeah, they're talking to my birds, I guess. So my birds are chattering away all the time. Alien World is sneaking it while at work. Nice to see you, Alien World. 54 Punchy is here. Sharpie Smalls and Aquatics. Hello, hello. Murat Kaplan. Hello, hello. Down the wormhole. Sharpies. Against the flow. Love the little water hole. That is cute, isn't it? Did you mute YouTube at Father Fish? Did I mute YouTube? I don't think so. Yes, I did. I did. I did. Yeah, that was actually the phone. Button quail. Button quail are cute. Okay, we hit steer well clear birds ever since at Argwood. Amazon decided my shoulder was Sharpie got bit by an orange wing. Amazon. Yeah, I know about that. Redfish, bluefish. Hello, hello. Your dirt for today is frozen. Is that what you're telling me? Fish from fish. That's funny. Put some water in it. Oh, so we're not gonna do your dirt and tag today. Is that what you're telling me? Because your dirt's frozen. Well, any excuse will do, I guess. Oh dear God in heaven. My dirt for today is frozen. Fish room fever is at Lowe's. Oh, okay. So he's trying to buy some dirt. Well, go for it. Let's see. While you're there, pick up a bag of iron oxide. We'll put a little handful of that in. Um, what else? That's the main thing. Iron oxide. They don't have worm casings or any of that other delicious stuff. Get a bag of black cow if you can find it, and some um, peat, some peat moss, and a good quality potting soil. That'll cost you $20, easy, maybe a little more. All right. so Fish Room Fever and I are supposed to do a video this afternoon when he gets back from Lowe's, where he's buying dirt to do a dirted tank. Well, I tell you the absolute truth is that I get all of my supplies, nearly all of my supplies for the dirted tank from Lowe's. What I don't get is sand because they don't sell silica sand. They sell play sand, which is awful to try to use. Um, and also, Dynamax's Earth, although I did my last bag, I got there. I got a bag of Dynamax's Earth at Lowe's. Really good stuff. That's something to have in your fish room. It has a lot of different uses, including being able to bring your pH up by providing carbonates in your water. So it's a good thing to 54 Punchy says the nearest Lowe's is 60 miles over the pass. Do they deliver? Yeah, for a price, I'm sure. Fisher Retriever says their dirt is frozen too. Yeah, I expect that's true. They don't keep it in their garden room is not a heated room, is it? Well, what do we do? You could try breaking it up. Put water in it, it'll thaw. It should thaw it very quickly. Put some hot water in about what size tank? Fisher Fever. What size tank are you going to set up? About a pound of dirt per gallon will give you enough. If you put hot water in it, you can thaw it and it'll work just fine. You need to make mud out of it anyway. So try that as another resort. You can, yeah, thaw your own. Right, right. Aqua balls. Sit on it on the way home. Sharpie said, uh huh. Right, Sharpie. Uh huh. We got your number there, Sharpie. RFR might as well do a dirted pond. Do you know? I never do dirted ponds. I do sand in ponds. And the reason is that ponds get so much detritus and waste anyway, you really don't need it. But you want to do about 4 to 6 inches of sand. So you want an extra deep sand bed. And if you will start that with gravel, about half of it gravel, and then sand on top of it, that'll give you a really good base for all of the detritus that goes into the pond. It'll keep it clean too. It's amazing how effective it is. But you really don't need dirt in a pond because you're going to get it anyway. Where are we? Saying pick up a speed. Danny Cam wants you to buy a space heater. I think hot water will work just fine. Nearest Petco, really that far, aren't you? You are in the boonies, aren't you? Sometimes I wish I were. Ooh, doo doo. He's gonna thaw. He's gonna thaw out his dirt when he gets back. So we'll be good to go. 20 long. Great size tank. I love the 20 long. Um, you can do so many really cool things in a 20 long. So you don't need a lot of dirt. Um, maybe 10 pounds, just about 15 to 20 cups or so. You only need an inch. And then you need sand on top. So I'm trusting you have sand. Ooh. Precious is saying that Lowe's is their second home. Small salty lake between me and the nearest Lowe's. Oh, right. Sharpie. I see. You're such a clever soul today. The Atlantic pond. Oh, lake, right. The Atlantic lake. It is a salty lake, isn't it? So, where does that put you? The Atlantic. Hmm. You must be in the Mediterranean. Is that where you are? Oxide, yes. Iron oxide, if you can find it. They've got small bags of iron oxide at Lowe's. I use that and I like it. I've checked it out and it works just fine. Fish room fever. It's over in the plant tree fertilizer section. Hello, Frank White. Nice to see you. Don't punchy, don't precious. Oh, that's interesting. Precious. Living water where? We have a living water here. The pond store. Beautiful store. Um, we had an issue with sand. I convinced them to use sand about 5 years ago. But they like to clean ponds every year. And of course, you don't clean a sand pond. But they tried and gave up on sand because it's impossible to clean. So I asked them why they cleaned it. And they said, well, because we clean ponds every year. I said, well, did it need to be cleaned? Was the sand doing a good job? Yeah, but we clean ponds every year. So we had a kind of a falling out with Living Waters here in Venice. Beautiful store, though. Beautiful ponds. They make exquisite ponds. That's all I'm going to say about that. Caleb, talking about Punchy living out in the boonies. Oh, there you go, Precious. Order dump trucks of sand. Well, that's an interesting problem. Yeah, you want to get mined, MINED, mined sand. Try to contact a sand mine. You can buy it by the cubic yard. It's about $100 for a cubic yard, and you won't need probably more than 1 cubic yard plus delivery. Delivery might be a problem. If you have a pickup, you can actually put a cubic yard in your pickup. But there ought to be, there are sand mines everywhere in every state in the union. You ought to be able to find one locally. Aquaballs added more plans for more algae control. I assume that's plants. I do that all the time. I'm forever leaving out letters or typing in the wrong letter. One pet store in town, Punchy. 8 to 10 gallon, 8 10 gallon tanks. Well, I hope they got nice fish in them. East of England, Sharpie says. The east of England. That's over toward France. So your nearest body of water is the English Channel. I see. Okay. What was this? Water wisteria is not growing. Now that's a curious problem. Um, it's in a dirt sand tank. Water wisteria is not growing. Man, I can't keep it from growing. Dooby doo. Um, what, Richie Rich, is your water very soft? Because plants do require a mineral content. Most plants, little known fact, most aquatic plants are originally brackish plants. They do, most aquatic plants do best in brackish water. Not all, certainly. The Aponogetans don't. But most aquatic plants are from brackish water, which is to say they need pretty hard alkaline water So test your TDS if you can and your pH and get back to me. Let's see what's going on there. Sharpie's not touching that joke can. Oh dear. I see. If you were back in Oregon, you'd have the wet spot. Oh, yeah. Oh my. Yeah, me too, Sharpie. Crystal's petting plants. Hi. How are you? Yeah, cleaning ponds means you're removing nutrients from the ecosystem. The other problem with here's what I do with a pond. When a pond gets really to the point where you just can't tolerate it anymore, um, I turn the faucet on, the outside faucet, hook up a hose to it, and if it's chlorinated water, let it trickle slowly into the pond for a couple of days. If it's deep well water or or water that's used for um, outdoor gardening, then kick it up a notch and let it run all day long. The best way to clear out a pond is just to do water change. Just let the water run in it as long as you need to get it cleaned out. And that works pretty well. Caleb is talking about some nasty fish tanks in a nasty shop. Crystal and Mrs. Pam, Heidi. Lapidary places are great for substrates. Indeed, they are. Indeed, they are for hardscape as well. Lapidarians are great for hardscape. You can get just beautiful, beautiful rock as well as fine stuff. So, yeah, rocks are scratching your fish. Probably your fish are scratching the rocks. Why? What did tell us a little more about that, Precious? Rocks scratching your fish. Is this something that just started happening? Is this uh, an issue you've been facing for a long period of time? I mean, what are you really talking about here? Big goldfish farm in Texas. Oh, Living Water's a big goldfish farm in Texas. Huge pond and building, two wetland filters and bottom drain. Very nice. But the concern is the um, finish typing your sentence, Precious. That we ended with the concern is the rocks. Oh, the concern is the rock scratching your fish. Well, do sand. So you're talking about koi scratching themselves. It'll knock scales off too. That really can be a problem. Um, you're just gonna have to level it with sand, I guess. Chewy, Frank White and Crystal. Hello, hello. Sharpie. Nearest is the North Sea, 25 miles and a dead flat. Oh my word. Wow. So you are northeast. You ain't just east. You're up where the wind blows. North Sea, some of the roughest seas. It's worse, I guess, than Seattle. Um, I've had boaters talk about North Sea seas in storms. Only thing that survives them is pontoon boats. Wow, that's rough stuff. Very salt water. Yeah, I figured as much. You're going to need to add carbonates to your water. A couple of ways you can do it. You can use sodium bicarbonate. That'll raise the pH. It'll also add carbonates. I recommended earlier diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth works really well. It will cloud the water slightly, but it settles out. So it's not really a problem. And it's calcium. It's pure calcium. So it tends to increase carbonates really effectively without causing any other problems. So try a couple of things, see if you can get the carbonate level up. Natural products are going to be superior to any mixture you can buy for that purpose. Chewy Crystal, Kaylor, Crystal. Sharpie says when he finds a suitable pair of apistos, the male will be called Robert. That's in honor of Bob. Trying to put together all the ingredients for a dirty tank. Roxanne, I could not find the iron oxide. Did find ironite. Ironite is perfect. Yes, iron. It's same stuff. Ironite's perfect. Not a problem. And you don't need a lot. Just a handful. It does tend to break down very slowly, so it's going to provide iron for years. Alcohols need nutrients for plants. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Know what's going on in my tank when I look at the plants, at the planets. Yeah, well, I've never tried that. That's interesting. I'm not much of an astrologist, but I'm game for anything. Listen, if it'll keep my fish alive, I'll look at the planets too. Who said that? Aqua balls. I'm teasing you. Precious, be cleaning upon the skimmer's drain water replacement is designed for low maintenance. Very good. Sharpies, leave my pond to get on with it. Yeah, eventually, here's the thing about ponds. If you leave a pond permanently and never clean it, never do anything to it, it will eventually turn into a marsh, into a bog. It's the nature of ponds to become bogs. Any bog or swamp that you've ever seen was at some point a body of water. It was at some point a pond that just kept filling up year after year after year. And after 100 or a few hundred or 1,000 years or whatever it takes, it becomes a bog. And then it becomes a delta. And then it becomes a field, an open field. All right. How big is your pond, Precious? Sounds like a monster. Dan, is this well okay? Ingredients are peat moss, pewternus, shrimp shells, limestone, perlite, organic fertilizer, and mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae. That's a typo, I'm assuming. I can't remember what it is. Everything else looks fine. Don't know what mycorrhizae is. Clarify for me. But Dan, yeah, everything looks great. Again, make sure you cap with sand. The substrate soil. Had a fellow this week um, get in trouble because he didn't cap his dirt. And as soon as he capped it, everything straightened out. So make sure you cap your dirt. You need an absolute minimum of 2 inches of sand on top of your dirt. Roxanna's going to mix up dirt today. Yay ho. And then wet it thoroughly. You want it the consistency of concrete slurry, like a wet mud pie. You want to be able to pour it, but you don't want it soupy. Right. Precious and I are going to go look at the planets. You guys can go do your thing. Morning sand crick, aqua balls. Put some iron under my dirt. Will that leach out in time? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Garlic therapy. Soak clove in a couple of days. It says on a counter uncovered. It'll rot. Um, Now, I was suggesting crushing it and putting it in water, in warm water, and then putting it in the fridge. If you leave it out, it'll rot. If you put it in the fridge, it'll make a tea. But you don't need to go through all that monkey shines. You can squeeze out the garlic clove and just put it direct. In fact, if you will mix it in with your food, you'll get the garlic inside the fish where it does best. That's where it really is most effective. Oh, iron under your dirt. We did that. Garlic therapy. Yes, right. We got the birdies. Mushroom. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, sharp. Yeah, it's um it's a mushroom prep. It's a mushroom soil. Has fungi in it. Um, yeah, that's really interesting because there are fungi that grow in the water. I mean, that's what fungus is. Fungi grows everywhere. Um, Fungi grows on dead tissue. There's fungus growing in every substrate because there's dead tissue. I'm sorry. Yeah, dead tissue. Bacteria kills tissue and fungus grows on it. So will absolutely not hurt a thing. It's something I've never done, but do it. It certainly won't hurt anything. I got to go back to where that was. Uh, I'm back to aqua balls looking at the planet. The lapidary, we did that. Precious dump trucks of sand. And then Precious is going to look at the planets too. Oh, you and me both. Put some iron under my dirt. Yes, we did that. Garlic therapy. Here, and then it jumps. And I lose it. There's the mushroom fungi. Caleb is saying it bonds with the roots of plants to help with nutrient transfer. You know, it's fungus, fungus, fungus. I don't know enough about fungus to get into it. I was thinking fungus is not alive, but it is. It's very much alive. It's like, is anaerobic bacteria alive? Well, yeah, it's just not. It's not oxygen-based bacteria. Frank's saying it does not use artificial fertilizer or chemicals. Yeah, I don't either. I'm not as careful about it as I probably ought to be, but I agree. I don't use any artificial fertilizers ever. And I try to avoid any soils that have chemicals in them. And Roxana says she's made many mud pies in her childhood. And honey, you ought to know all about it because that's all you need to do is make mud pies. This is this is childhood fun after all. Pretty big pond, 50,000 gallons. That is swimming pool size. 3 pumps, 2 waterfalls, 2 skimmers, 2 wetland filters, bottom drain. Going into another pond, hard to explain, but it's on flow. Sounds wonderful. What's the acreage or square? This sounds like about a quarter of an acre pond. Would that be about right? 50,000 gallons depends on the depth, I guess. Closed in a circle around an island. How nice. Sheep manure, mutant floods. Yeah, sheep manure is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty rich. That's really the sheep manure has more nitrogen than cow manure, so it does tend to be more beneficial to plants. Aquawell is my dirted tank. It's been a week or so. Some bubbles are coming out of the sand. When I plant new plants, remove the old ones. Is that normal? Yes, indeedy. It's mostly nitrogen gas. It's not anything to be concerned about. It is a good thing. Put the garlic pulp in ground up meat mixture and freeze. Got a bunch of fish hankering for an Italian dish. Two-legged fish, I assume. Yeah, it's good for finned fish as well. Absolutely. For meat, I would do seafood or fish or chicken or turkey. Uh, Probably not beef. It's okay, but you got to get all the fat out of it because fish cannot digest animal fat. They can digest bird fat, however. Sister Luck Mode. How many people have read the Diana Wallstead book? It's a good read to help you understand what Father Fish is telling us about. Listen, I'll tell you a little secret. Anybody who can read Diana Wallstead's book cover to cover, and I mean read it and understand it, is a better man or woman than me. I find the science almost impenetrable, but she does such a brilliant job of explaining how to do what needs to be done that getting all of the science in my head is not nearly as critical. It is a brilliant piece of work, the result of many years of study and research, and it's written as a scientist, not only for aquarists, but also for scientists. So it's pretty deep, pretty intense stuff. But it is critical, and there's nothing comparable. So she's kind of got a corner on the market. Ecology of the Planet Aquarium. Frank White, you've talked about this a number of times, Frank. Yeah, absolutely. I've got it sitting on my desk and sitting on my nightstand. Got copies of it wherever I go. Read that book 20 years ago. Roxana says, "You bet." Let's see. Aqua balls, I think it's unnecessary for the beginner. Well, aqua ball is not unnecessary so much is just really difficult reading for a beginner. I mean, I can't read it all the way through. It just it goes beyond me. But I've been in every single chapter in that book, and I've gleaned what I can from every single chapter, and have learned so much that I would not otherwise understand. Sister Lockmo read the whole book, then I read different parts at least 3 times. Yeah, absolutely. Do I use liquid fertilizers? No, I never do. I never put liquid fertilizers in. Um, it gives you false growth. If you're putting fertilizers in, there's something wrong with if you need them. There's something wrong with the way the substrate is set up because it should not only and this is the thing that Wallstead demonstrates so vividly is that if you set up your substrate properly, in 6 months to a year, all of the organic material in that substrate will have been used up. But in that amount of time, it will have been replaced by the waste sifting down through the sand into the deeper substrate. So it cycles. You get this continuing, very slow but very absolute cycle going on where the plant, where the tank is balancing itself. And it's cycling material down to the bottom. It goes up through the plants. It disintegrates and comes back down in the tank like my hands there. Try to kegel the camera. Where the plants take it back up again as nutrients. So there's this constant, continuous flow of nutrients cycling in the system. 31 likes by cool people, one dislike. Really? That's interesting. I wonder. Oh well. I've not been faced with any of that yet. I guess it will be. It's good. I know. I know. Aquaballs, it's good for beginner and dirty tank. Help to get a grasp on the process. Yeah. Sister Lotmo. You bet. Precious says that one dislike is from someone who hates themselves. Now you've done it. Now you've done it, Precious. We're not supposed to be having political discussions here. Bravo. Bravo. Didn't understand it, but I got the gist of it, Roxanne says. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, you don't need to understand all the science. In fact, it's really there to be used as Frank says, as a Bible, to go back to over and over again, to grow in and grow with. You should be able to use that book throughout your entire career of keeping fish, because as you learn, you you go deeper and understand more, and find more explanation and more evidence for the very things you're looking at that you wouldn't have thought about 10, 15, 20 years before, 50 years before, 70 years before. Sister Lockmo, we did that. And there's Precious. I love it. Love it. Let's see. Secret to reading the book is focused on your layperson. Yeah, absolutely. Science is little beyond the small tank. I don't think so. I think a small tank can be set up as a dirty tank. And in fact, I do it in vegetables. Um, and I find it really effective in a vegetable where you don't have moving water. Oh. Roxana, can I build up my substrate layer by putting lava rock in bags under soil so my tank has some dimension? Hum. So you're contouring your substrate. Is that the idea? To be able to create um, substructure and then have some areas that'll be higher than other areas where there'll be soil cap. You certainly can do that. And when you figure out how to do it effectively, you can make some videos because I find it really difficult to do. I would love to learn how to do that. Jen saying he doesn't see the benefits. I'm not sure I get what you're after, Roxana, but if I do, then I do see the benefit of being able to have a contoured substrate so that you have hills and valleys in the substrate with soil at the higher as well as the lower elevations. The trick is to keep it from all sliding down. Um, the Green Machine developed some systems for doing that using plastic plastic grids that held the soil back from being able to sink, to be able to slide down. Pretty effective system. Thank you, Kaylor. Why my pH kept dropping because the nitrates were high. Yeah, exactly. Um, and that probably, Citralugma probably meant that your carbonates were very low. Carbonates um, raise pH and reduce nitrates. So keeping carbonates in the water, the easiest way to do it is with water changes because most water is high in carbonates. If your water is neutral, who was it? Susan yesterday was saying her tap water is 7.2, which means it's very soft. She does not have carbonates, at least not enough, so her water tends to become acidic. To deal with that, she has to add carbonate. The simplest way is sodium bicarbonate. That's a little harsh, but it is effective. Uh, every bit as an effective a way is to add diatomaceous earth, but you can use crushed oyster shell, crushed coral, anything that leaches out into the water. And it doesn't have to leach out quickly. It can be very, very slow and just gradual. In fact, you kind of want it to be because you want that to go on long term. You want it to not end. One thing to watch out for if you're depending on leaching to keep your carbonate level up, is that in time the rock work or whatever structure you have that's leaching out will get covered with biofilm uh, and and uh, and get an effect smothered. That's especially true in saltwater tanks, but it happens in freshwater as well. And when that does happen, it stops leaching. The solution is to take it up, break it up, wash it off, clean it, go back to square one with it. But be mindful of that. It just one more test that you need to if you're having an issue like not being able to get plants to grow or not being able to keep your pH up, then you probably have a carbonate issue. So it is something you need to be able to test for. A TDS test instrument is pretty cheap and definitely worth having. We do. We did lot. Well, it's small amounts of baking soda. Yep, works perfectly. I used to think it was not permanent, but of course it is because it's adding carbonates, which do get used up at a very slow rate. Fish Tropic made an interesting comment. It's beyond me that people don't understand substrate. No, but that's right. A lot of people do not understand substrate. I was watching a video on YouTube recently in which one of the major gurus on FishTube was talking about substrate and really did not have a clue as to what substrate achieves in the tank, other than to say it makes it pretty. I was a little disturbed. We need to work a little harder at this and just keep pushing it. Well, Precious says it's not political, it's psychological. I know, I know, I know. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Uh, Hodgie 21 Fish Tank says hello. Oh, this is interesting. James Handy, your thoughts on use the old Vortex diatom filter to polish water once in a while? You know, they're amazingly effective. I just find them so much trouble. I don't bother. And the reality is, with the deep sand bed, I don't get that detritus in the water anymore. Before I, before when I was doing gravel, which years ago I did gravel because I did under gravel filters during the 70s and 80s because everybody was supposed to do it. So I did it. And that's when I bought my diatom filter because I needed to get all the gunk out of the water. And they are amazingly effective. But the reality is, with the deep substrate, deep sand bed substrate, you don't have the problem unless something happens, unless you create a disturbance or something weird goes on. And then I do find the diatom filter more effective than anything else for getting particulate matter out of the water down to a micron. And the reason is, of course, it uses diatomaceous earth. So it's also dissolving a certain amount of calcium back into the water, which is helping to bolster your water quality. So I certainly in no way oppose the diatom filters. I love them. The company that makes them is local. They've made the same one, same family, same workers for years since I was a kid, and they're still making them the same way. Um, they're wonderful people, and it's a wonderful product. Let's see. Danny Can not picked up any of my books since finding YouTube. Get a video about anything. I know what you mean. But I'll tell you what, Danny Can, while that's true, you need to check it out because there are people saying polar opposite things about the same issue, even on the Fish Channel. So you need to do research. Even so, you need to look at uh, at differing viewpoints, and then try to understand where you're at in relation to all that. Fish tank says hello. Aqua balls. I don't know what you're talking about. Fisher Fever is live. Let's get over there. Let's get over to Fisher Fever. I lost track of time here. Yeah, it's 2:15. I'm gonna cut this off. Pick us up over at Fisher and Fever. I'm gonna try to get his link and see if I can't get over there right quick. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna try. And broadcast. And